never been broke in my life. Like, I don't know how that feels. I've been offered 6M for that car, right? In traffic, like live. Yo, right now, let's go. Let's go to the bank right now. I'll give you 3. You'll take the Uber back home and we'll finish off. Once you give me the logbook, we'll finish off the rest. I told him, no, I can't. This is sentimental value for me. The good thing about me is I work perfectly well under pressure.
Okay.
I don't like being comfortable. If I'm comfortable, I don't have that drive.
Hey guys, welcome to yet another episode of Financially Incorrect. I am your host, Barak. And first off, I want to say thank you for everyone who came for our live recording last week on the 24th at, what's it called? Skate City. I don't know why I forgot that. But thanks for coming out. Thanks. It was good to meet some of you in person. And for the online community, thank you for keeping on watching and subscribing and sharing. Really do appreciate it. We've hit, well, FX Pesa has hit the million goal mark in terms of being able to educate 1 million people on financial literacy. And part of that is courtesy of this podcast and the conversations that we have here. And today we have lined up yet another guest for you. One of the producers, Shiko, said that she feels like he's the first guest who's come appropriately dressed for a financial podcast. It looks like a combination of like Snoop Dogg and The Undertaker, like put together. If you're listening to this on audio, I'd suggest like pause, go on YouTube, check it out, and see what Frankie's wearing. So today we have Frankie with us on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How are you doing, man?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Feeling great.
Yeah.
Can't wait for this.
Let me first of all ask where you got your coat from.
So I have my plug who usually supplies me with swanky stuff.
Yeah.
I like being a little bit different.
Yeah.
So yeah, he got me this coat, little fur coat.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg back in the day.
Yeah, because you have the coat, the cornrows, dripping down, of course, the TNG watch, and the white shoes.
And
Where'd you get those? Where'd you get
boots? I got them from the UK.
Okay.
I usually ship in I start off my outfit ground up. So I buy the shoes.
Okay.
Then I look for something that can fit the look.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are your favorite kinds of shoes? Do you prefer low tops, high tops?
Well, I switch around, but I like also like platform shoes because they're a bit different. I like thick shoes, shoes with thick soles. Something really outrageous and.
How many inches are those? Like, how many inches do those add to your height?
I think this are like maybe like 2. Is that 2 inch? It's a 2-inch platform, I think. Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. Well,
takes me to 6'2".
Yeah, I'm like, okay, like anyway, okay, yeah. So I think we're gonna have. I mean, we've talked a little bit on set. I was with Frankie last week as well, doing something else. But I'm really interested. I'm really excited to have this conversation and the things we're gonna talk about. But
yes,
before we start, let me ask: have you decided what you're getting your kids for Christmas?
Not yet, actually.
Yeah.
That's something I'll start thinking probably maybe after the first week of Christmas.
Yeah.
Because
after
the first week of December.
Okay.
Yeah, because my daughter's birthday is actually in December.
Okay.
Not first week of December. So I have to think about her first.
Okay.
And then Christmas plans. So she's getting like 2 gifts, obviously.
In the month.
Lucky little girl.
Yeah.
But yeah, after that, then I start thinking.
What do your kids know about Christmas? Or what have you told them about Christmas? Do they believe or think there's a Santa Claus somewhere?
So for me, I really suck at like traditions.
Okay.
Like Santa Claus and all these other things and just any holiday, right? Mm-hmm. Easter Bunny and all that. Mm-hmm. So I kind of like have to keep reminding myself that, okay, kids love this type of stuff. Mm-hmm. So you kind of have to get into that, that theme, right? Mm-hmm. So for this year, I'm actually planning a nice photo shoot. Okay. I'm going to dress up like Santa Claus and do that whole shebang for them, just so that they can have, that childhood, childhood memory. So that's something that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah,
let's see how it turns out. Hopefully, it works out. And they really believe in Santa Claus.
Do you, I mean, in the previous years, have you had like a Christmas budget where you know that, because a lot of people talk about a sinking fund, just trying to save money for the holidays. Do you start that early on, or is it something like you're saying you're figuring out first week of December and say, this is how I'm going to spend my money differently this month?
Man, for me, I never really, again, it's something that I have to really start thinking about, or I started thinking about saving for the holidays. Because holidays usually, you know, especially when you're in a family setup, you're looking at the holidays, kids are out of school, you're thinking, where can I take them?
Yeah.
Is it, you know, Mombasa? Is it Naivasha? Wherever it is, right? What can you do for them? So those are the things which I really have to start thinking about. But before, I just used to wing it. Let me not lie to you. I wing it. Their mom tells me, hey, kids are closing school on this day. What can we do for them? And I'm like, oh, wow, damn. Let me think real quick. Just find a place. We'll sort it out. We'll take them. So it's never been something that's been planned. But I kind of have to start doing that, I think. So, yeah.
So then, as a result, have you ever had a January where, you know, you finished your January money in December?
Yeah. So in my industry, the good thing is there's a lot of money in January coming in because people have New Year's resolutions. So they sign up to the gym quite early on in January. So yes, I might have, you know, finished probably like my November money by December. And December is usually quiet. It's usually dry, right?
Yeah.
You try to call someone in December, they're like, hey, to Patane January.
Yeah.
But I think I know how to manage my finances a little bit better.
Yeah.
Obviously because of my upbringing and all that. But January is usually not a good month, but like it works out well. Like you have people coming in and streaming in and trying to like start their training programs and all that. And then also it's my birthday month, so luckily it's not early in January. Because people, they're like, hey, like, we can't do anything for you.
But question, because I actually have never thought about it or met someone who's been on the other side of the New Year's resolutions, and you know, I'm gonna go eat healthy, I'm gonna go to the gym. So when you're talking about the income then that you'd be making in that windfall or that period, are you doubling your income? Is it triple? Is it 1.5 of what you usually make? What kind of amount is it?
It's almost doubling.
Yeah,
almost doubling. But then again, because New Year's resolution doesn't last long.
Okay.
So it kind of like compensates for February.
Yeah.
Because it now the ones who are gonna stick, they stick. Then the ones fall off. Obviously, a larger percentage fall off.
That decline is that steep. Like people will pay January.
People like it's a spike and then it dips and then it evens out. Yeah. Wow. But even the evening out is still probably like a little bit higher than what it was probably the previous year. Yeah. So you gain something out of it. So if you had like, let's say if you had like 5 clients and then January comes, you have 10, it'll drop off and you'll probably have like, 7. So you've increased, but not that drastically. Yeah.
Okay. I was going to ask a line of questions before we got here, but because we're here, let me continue with this and then I'll go back.
Yeah.
And I just want to ask how you make money in the gym industry. What are the different ways that people make money?
Yeah.
And what are the scales in terms of the charging rates and basically how you make money in that space. Yeah.
Okay. So is this as a gym owner or as Frankie when he was a personal trainer?
Let's start with as a personal trainer and then see if we can transition to as a gym owner.
Okay. So when I was a personal trainer, I'm still a personal trainer, but I just totally different right now. But when I started off, the first way I was making money obviously was through personal training. You get a client. I had just one rate, and then.
How much was that rate? How much would you charge people?
Starting off, I think I was doing like maybe 12.
12,000
for the month.
For a month. Okay.
Yeah.
And how many sessions?
Actually, I think I was doing 15.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I was doing 15,000 at that time. 15,000, you're getting, I think it was like 4 sessions a week.
Okay.
So 16 a month, right?
So it was about just under 1,000 shillings a session.
Yeah. Okay. Roughly that. So, and then you get a meal plan with that, and you get a workout plan with that, and then you get the personal training. But mind you, I was training this person in Uhuru Park. right? So, and there was no equipment. It's literally a towel and me as the resistance.
Okay.
So she holds down there, I'm holding up here, and she's doing her thing, right? I really had to convince this lady like to to believe in me. I really had to convince her to believe in me. But luckily she did. And then transitioned into now being able to go, because now I started posting all this content. I made sure I documented the whole transformation. And then gyms now started noticing this. And they will now call me to come to their space and train people there or train myself there as well, because they just wanted to be marketed. And I guess that's how like social media marketing for fitness influencers started, right? Yeah, and then fast forward, I started now introducing, because now with that 15,000, people used to complain that, oh, it's a bit too much, it's a lot, blah, blah, blah. Again, people were looking at...
But I mean, if you're breaking down that 15,000
Exactly.
into, I mean, one...
People spend double that on a weekend.
Yeah.
Just drinking and, you know.
Yeah.
So that was the...
And even for you, how much money are you actually making? Are you actually making any money at that point? Because there's your travel cost.
Yeah, exactly.
To Uhuru Park or
exactly.
wherever
So
it is that you're training the person.
That's the thing now. With that, also I still have to give the gym like
It's free.
a cut.
Yeah.
So by the time you're finishing off, you chop that money up into like nothing. But yeah, so that's how I started off. And then when people started complaining about, you know, it being too much, right? What I did was I flipped it. I segmented it. So I reduced, I created a package and gave each package its own rate. So instead of doing 4 times a week, you can do, we had, I created 2 times a week, which is 12,000. 3 times a week, which was 15,000, and then 4 times a week, which was 20,000, right? So I broke it down like that, and then I included meal plan separately, workout plan separate. So you're buying all this separately, yeah? And meal plan was going for like 4,000, workout plan was going for 4,000. Just broke everything down and gave options.
Yeah.
And this is where now like the business psychology came into play.
Okay.
So I did international business management for my master's, and I thank God like I did that, because a lot of, you know, business psychology came from that. What happened was when I segmented it like that, the people who were complaining that the 15,000 was too much ended up just taking that 15,000. Like majority of the people, because I gave them the option of the 12,000. They're like, no, we'll just stick to the 12,000 to the 15,000. So that became the most popular package. Because someone's looking at it, okay, I'm paying 12,000. I'm only getting 2 sessions. Might as well pay 15, get 3. And this whole the services that comes with it, meal plan, workout plan, and all that. So it was a way to kind of like, you know, trick the system. Then after that, I started now introducing, or obviously we had the influencing side of it coming into play now. First got my first gig, which was Safaricom gig. We did, what's it called? The launch of the 4G, when 4G launched. So we did that. That was first big check, right? Yeah. I was excited about that.
How much was your first big check?
Oh man, it was big. It was big for that time. But yeah, it was quite good.
Are we talking 500, a million above?
Yeah.
It's above a million.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was excited about that. It allowed me to purchase first computer, which I use till now. Allowed me to purchase our first camera, all the equipment that we use for recording content and all that at that time. We used that money to do that. So that was a great thing.
Sorry, before we continue down the journey, I want to take you back to, I guess, this period when you're primarily, I guess, working as a personal trainer.
Yes.
At that time, are you with your ex-wife at this point? Well, ex-partner at this point in time.
Yes. Well, actually, no. That was what, 2014. So I met her just the start of 2015.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
At the start of 2015.
So, with the work that as a personal trainer, you're sustaining yourself.
Yeah.
At the beginning point, you're sustaining yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're making enough money to pay your bills and all of that, or are you living at home? Are you? Yeah.
So again, for me, I've never really struggled with finances.
Okay.
I mean, I'm from a well-off family and never been broke in my life. Like, I don't know how that feels. That's not even like it's not even a flex. I'm just saying. Yo, trust me, I was just saying, like, genuinely.
Let me ask. What does that mean? Does that mean that you have your family? Is it like a trust fund element, or is it like a family money you're sent every month, or what does that mean?
Okay. Through our school, obviously, you have money coming in because that's your upkeep money, or that's your pocket money. And it was quite substantial, right? So I could move around uni comfortably, be able to purchase whatever I want to purchase, and just do the whole student, actually not even the normal student life.
Is there anything you wanted that you were not able to get?
Of course, yeah. There were things which I wasn't able to purchase because obviously my money wasn't that long.
Yeah, like what? I mean,
yeah. But I bought my first bike with my pocket money.
Motorbike.
Yeah, okay. Motorbike. It was a 750.
How much was it?
How much did I buy that bike for? But it was a project bike because for me, I'm just all about projects. I think it was I got it for like £1,000.
Okay.
Yeah, £1,000. Yeah. Yeah. So literally, at that time in uni and all that, I was quite comfortable. But then afterwards, obviously, after I finished uni and all that, I came back to Kenya. Again, I was living at one of our houses, so I didn't have to pay rent. The only thing which I had to do was sort out my food and all that, because of course I'm in the house by myself, right? So I sort out my own stuff. Yeah, so that's what I mean. Like the normal things which would bother someone, like I don't have a place to sleep and stuff like that. I didn't have those problems. My first car my pops gave me my first car as a gift. So that was, again, it's you're able to do the normal stuff. So even moving around, it was quite easy for me going from end to end, going to clients. So yeah, with that struggle, I don't think I really had that struggle.
But what about, okay, so that seems like, asset stuff. What about cash flow?
Cash flow now was me.
Okay.
Obviously, I have folks who are not they don't baby me, right? They've had their upbringing, and they've struggled, trying to grow as parents,
right?
So they know the struggle of not having money. So obviously they're not just gonna give out handouts, right? So I have to do all that by myself, and then also myself, I grew up pretty much alone, right? I was shipped off in different areas, so I grew up pretty much alone. So I had to learn by myself a lot of things. So yeah, when it comes to money, that was things it was from things that I've done myself. So mostly was the personal training and all that. But again, if you look at it you're getting money from your clients, and your running costs are so little, you end up being liquid, right? Quite liquid, because you don't have to pay rent. Rent is a huge chunk.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to start transport as well is something. Okay, it's fuel, and fuel prices wasn't like the way it is right now, of course.
Right.
So I didn't.
So you were okay.
I was good.
So I have a question, because it sounds like, because you talked about a master's, so it sounds like you studied in the UK. I know
Yes.
from the conversation that we've had. You
Yeah.
did your undergrad in the UK as well.
Yeah.
And you went to Braeburn as well, if
Braeburn,
I'm not
yeah,
wrong. Yeah.
yeah.
So with all this money that your parents invested in your education and getting
Yeah.
you to a certain element intellectually,
Yeah.
was there like, what was the decision like for you to decide, and not with your parents so much so as you reconciling with yourself, that you were going to get into the as a person, you're going to become a personal trainer,
Yeah.
as opposed to getting a white collar job
Yeah.
elsewhere?
True. Actually, that's a good point. So again, they shelled out. Well, my mom shelled out a lot of money to get me where I am right now. Right. When it comes to education and all that. So when I was doing my first degree, I did my first degree in business management, in business studies. When I finished that, I told my mom I wanted to do a gap year, and she was like, "What the hell is wrong with you? How you doing a gap year? Like, you've studied and all this, you'd be looking for a job."
Yeah.
And because all my friends, again, white folks and all that, they went on for their gap years.
Yeah,
They went to
they go travel
Barcelona,
around,
they were
right.
doing all that. So I'm like, I want to do this stuff.
Yeah.
But again, I have, African parents who's like, hell no. I didn't put out all this money for you to go enjoy life like that. So I told her, okay, cool. What I'll do is I'll look for work. And if I don't get work by this period, I'm going to go do a master's. Because again, I decided to do a master's, not because I wanted the master's, but because I wanted the uni life.
You wanted
Like, I enjoyed it so much. I was like, I want to go back.
yeah.
So,
And that she agreed to.
yeah, she was like, okay. Because again, it's more education, so she can never turn that down.
Yeah.
So when I went back and did my master's,
Did you try to look for a job?
I did.
In earnest.
I did, kind of. But yeah, and it's not easy actually getting work in the UK.
Oh, you were looking in the UK?
I was looking in the UK,
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
because I was in Liverpool.
Okay.
So I was looking in the UK. My sister lives there, so I mean, I was just like, okay, I'll just follow in her footsteps as well. It's not easy at all, man. Yeah. They're looking at first their own people, then Europe, then the other
Americas,
Western world,
then
and then
now you.
Africa.
Yeah, and then whether they have to sponsor you or not.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So man, it's a journey. So I ended up going into, and actually my mom was like, you know what? The reason could be because the degree is not really a degree, so master's is the new degree now.
Right,
Like,
right.
okay, cool. So I ended up doing my master's. Now, when I was doing my master's, because master's was only a year. So I
Yes.
did a master's in international business management. I actually wanted to do a master's in something to do with sports, but I had to go back and do a degree first, then go do the master's. So I was like, I'm not going back to do a degree in that. So I just like upped it and did in business. So when I was doing that, I was like, okay, a year is not long. A year goes like that.
Yeah.
So what am I going to do that's going to help me transition into what I'm passionate about?
Yeah.
At that time, I was like super shredded. Like I was fitness. I was removing my shirt everywhere I go. Like, go to the club, remove my shirt. Just give me a reason, I'm taking it off.
Yeah.
And people used to want me to train them. My family members as well, friends. I used to train my friends back home. So I remember my sister was like, "Oh, why don't you like do something towards personal training because you're quite good at this?" And I was like, you know what? Actually, that's a good idea. I mean, there in the UK, it's lucrative, very lucrative. I had when I first went to find out about personal training, there were people who were getting paid £400 per session, right? Just being like a celebrity trainer, because the city which I lived in had a lot of like footballers and stuff like that. So money was like the career was very liquid, right? Very lucrative. Sorry. So I decided to do an advanced diploma in sports nutrition
Okay.
as I was doing my master's.
Okay.
So in the morning, I go all the way to a place called Rochdale to do the personal training, level 3
right.
stuff, yeah. And then in the evening, I go all the way to Manchester Metropolitan University to do my master's.
Yeah.
So I was shuttling around.
Okay.
Yeah. So I did that for around like 11 months. Yeah.
So by the time you're coming back, so it's an educated risk that you sort of take. And it's your passion point and all of that. What were your thoughts around the different, I guess, how lucrative it was in the UK vis-a-vis what was looking like here now?
So, I as soon as I finished, I got an opportunity to go literally travel the world, do exactly what I wanted to do. So what happened was when you finish this course, the diploma, you get an opportunity to apply for a cruise ship. So becoming a personal trainer or a head personal trainer on that cruise ship. So you're going to, again, the places that I wanted to go for my gap year.
Yeah.
Italy, Spain, for around 6 months. 6 months, you're just traveling the world and just training and, I mean, girls and all that.
Yeah.
It's cruise ship.
Yeah.
Free alcohol.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, I was 23 at that time.
Yeah.
So I was going to have the time of my life.
Yeah.
And I came back to Kenya and I was like, I remember just like looking for a decent gym to work out. I was what you call a summer bunny. So I would only come back on specific holidays, December and all that, right? So when I came back, I was looking for, gyms and all that, places where I can train. And I never saw the standard that I saw when I was in the UK and personal trainers. I never saw that. I saw gym instructors. I didn't see personal trainers. So I
What's
figured.
the difference between a gym instructor and a personal trainer?
So a gym instructor is someone who's located at the gym, right? And shows people what a certain machine does. So you can come and be like, hey, this machine, it works your back. You should just pull it like this. And then, okay, cool, awesome. And then they continue probably like cleaning the gym or making sure things are moving well. They're at the front desk. They do a number of things, right? A personal trainer is there for a specific person. So in the UK, how they used to function was, there was a gym that I used to go to. You pay at the front desk. There's like an ATM machine looking thing. You pay, right? Computerized. As you enter, there's a tube where you enter in. You look up, sees your face, reads your face, sees that you've paid because you've already taken a photo outside, right, on that ATM machine. It opens the other door, and now you enter the gym. Once you enter the gym, the only people that you're seeing there are other people training or cleaners, people cleaning up. There's no gym instructors, no personal trainers. Then there's a notice board. On the notice board, there's different trainers with their qualifications, what they're good at, what they specialize in, and all that, and their contacts. So it's up to you now to reach out to them. You call, have a conversation with them, figure out what schedule works for you, how much they charge, and then you go from there. Then they set up the days that you're going to be training, and then you go from there. So it was very structured, right? And that was what I was looking to bring here. Okay. So that's why I had to train people in Uhuru Park when I first began, because people didn't understand that concept. A lot of gyms didn't want that. They were like, no, we'll pay you.
Instructors.
Yeah, we'll pay you, and you'll train all our people, and you'll do everything that we want you to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, when I came back and I saw that, I was like, okay, I have a decision to make. I can go back to the UK and do exactly what I've always wanted to do, or I can come back to Kenya and pioneer something. And to me, that just being
seemed a lot more.
Yeah, it just made more sense to me. I was like, not even the money aspect of it, just being able to mold an industry, that just like it pulled on the heartstrings. I was like, this is what I want to do.
And even when the gym's here talking to you about being a gym instructor, how much are they offering? How much are they putting on the table?
Gym instructor?
Yeah.
Like 20
a month.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, also another thing is,
Yeah.
again, that's also something which I think you've even asked when you're like, how come after all this education, you're going into personal training? Personal training, or, you know, becoming a gym instructor, it's always been looked at as you weren't able to go to school, so now this is this is the only thing you can do. But that's not the case. Like, everything that I've gotten, right? Everything I'm able to do, the people who I'm able to take care of has been because of personal training. Like, literally, it's made me enough money to be able to sustain my lifestyle, right? And I don't fake anything. I don't go above and beyond to do things which I can't afford. I don't do that. That's not me. Even if you look at my social media, you won't see G-Wagons and what, things which I've leased out or rented out. No, I don't do that. You'll see my Mini Cooper. But Mini Cooper is a classic car, something that I've been offered 6M for that car, right? In traffic, like live. Yo, right now, let's go. An Indian guy with he had a yellow Cayenne, pulled up. He was just following me the whole way. It's like, bro, pull over to the side. I'm like, no, I'm in a rush. Please pull over to the side. It's like, I have 6 mic for you. I'll give you, let's go to the bank right now. I'll give you 3. You'll take the Uber back home and we'll finish off. Once you give me the logbook, we'll finish off the rest. I told him, no, I can't. This is sentimental value for me, you know? But again, it's something that, okay, it cost me to fix it, but it didn't cost me like crazy amount of money to fix it. So I value those type of things. So I know a lot of people look at personal training as, man, this guy is PE teacher.
I have a question for you though, in that sense, right? Because you know how people say that, you know, entrepreneurship is like for the middle class and above, you know, when you have, when you feel like you can hedge the risk with, you know, whether it's family money or whatever the case is. Do you feel like if you didn't have that insurance, quote unquote insurance policy, that you would have stuck through it to the end? And I guess in that question I also want to ask, so when your ex-partner comes on board and you guys now you know, together and you start getting kids, what kind of financial pressures do you face in the career that you've chosen?
So I think once firstborn came into play, that's when I started feeling the pinch of like having limited funds. As soon as you have to pay for that, first of all, the first hospital bill, birth.
How much was
That's
it?
heavy.
Do you remember?
I think it was like what? It's like 300 or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like 300 and something.
Yeah.
But obviously it adds on after that. So again, boom, that's the first hit. Then you have other running costs. Diapers is crazy. Buying diapers, like, you could change a diaper like this.
How much do you think you spent on diapers?
Oh my God, I lost count, man. Diapers are quite expensive. And you spend like what, 1,000 bob for a bag of what? Is it like 30 or something like that? 30, and kids poop like 6-7 times a day.
So a bag is taking you through what, 3 days?
Literally. Back to back. So you're just like.
So easily you're spending, even if it's say easily you're spending what, 2,000 shillings per week, easily, roughly.
Then
so about 104,000 a year on diapers.
And then this
alone.
formula. This formula. Because again, milk supply, I remember, was short at that time. So formula is like what, 1,500, almost 2 Gs.
Actually, let me ask you a question. I want to ask you about the hospital visits pre-birth. Because I know I know from my brother's experiences that those visits are not cheap.
No, they're not.
The supplements are not cheap.
They're not. Yeah. So also that's another thing. Just like you go there, just get your scan and all that done.
10 Gs, yeah.
10 Gs, 15 Gs. It's the supplementation
Yeah.
again. That's also another probably like 15, and they go like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So
It
what?
was
So
crazy.
what are you thinking at that time when all these bills now are piling up? Yes, I mean, like you said, you had the house and everything, but what are you thinking? Is your personal training able to?
I'm thinking I need more clients, man. I'm like, what? I need more clients.
Yeah.
But the good thing about me is I work perfectly well under pressure.
Okay.
I don't like being comfortable. If I'm comfortable, I don't have that drive.
Okay.
So I like when the odds are against me.
Okay.
So that's when I'm starting to think. And even at that time, that's when I actually started introducing meal prep services.
Okay.
See, I wouldn't have thought about that
Yeah.
if I was comfortable with my clients.
Yeah.
So I was like, wait a minute. These clients, they usually complain about the meal plan. They have an issue cooking for themselves. So let me simplify it to a point where now I'm actually cooking it, get a chef, do all that, cook the meals
And
for the
send
client,
it
and now
ready.
send it to
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
So I've just simplified something that was already simplified. And again, that became another way of making money.
What's your cap? How many people can you do this for? How many clients can you actually have?
So that was now another issue.
Yeah.
So there was a time that I was doing 20 clients, and I ended up getting fatigued to a point where I was pretty much hospitalized. Yeah. So I was waking up. I had to wake up at 4 to be at the gym by 5. Train from 5 to 9. 9 to 10, I take a nap. Wake up, I train myself. Lunchtime, I have clients. 1 to 2 to 30. Then again, I take another nap from 3 to 4. And this is at the gym, taking a nap at the gym because I can't really move around because
Right.
I at that time I was living in Ruaka.
Okay.
Gym is in Valley Road.
Okay.
So I can't go home to take a
Yeah.
nap, right? Pack all my meals. Train clients again from 5 up until 8. Then 9:30, I get home. I start now writing meal plans, workout plans. I reply to emails and all that. I pack my meals as well. By the time I'm done, it's probably like midnight. And then sleep, up again at 4.
How long did you do that for?
I did that for, I think it was like 2 months.
Yeah.
And I started having heart palpitations. So there was a time I was just standing and I was like, I felt weird. I felt dizzy. I felt like I could see my chest moving. Then I told Maureen, I was like, hey, just feel this. And she put her hand on me and I saw from her face,
Yeah.
like the way she looked at me,
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, I'm dying. Like literally that was the first
Yeah.
thing I
Yeah.
thought. And she was just like, okay, nah. She
And-
ran out the
Yeah.
door, she called my brother, she rushed me straight to hospital, and then I had to be on bed rest for like a week or 2.
Wow.
Yeah.
2 questions. So these 20 clients, they are
Yeah.
ranging from the different packages that you have, that you're offering personal training, the different
Yes.
the different
Yeah,
ranges.
between actually no one was taking twice a week, so the 12,000 was out.
Okay.
It was just there for show.
So this was the 15 and the
15, 20,
20,
15,
15 and 20 Gs, right?
Yeah.
One question is, was the money worth it?
Yeah.
And the second question is, what was driving you to do this? Was it, again, like we've talked about, this pressure of now these kids,
Yeah.
we need to take care of the kids. And despite the fact that you're not, you don't have the rent pressure, among other things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was driving it?
Yeah.
To pioneer something within this industry. I
Okay.
wanted to be an industry leader. Like,
Okay.
I'm sure if you ask any entrepreneur, any person who's a real business person, the thing that usually drives them is, I want to be the best. And that was the only thing that was driving me. And I knew with that, I'll be able to make enough to take care of my family and all that. But that was the main thing that was driving me. Again, with the clients, you see now it's personal training. So personal training is totally different. You have to give time to an individual client. So you can't really do 20 all in 1 hour. You know, if you're doing classes, Zumba classes, aerobics and all that, you can do 20 people in 1 hour, 20 people in another hour, 3 hours in a day and you're good. This is like 1 hour per person, 1 hour per person. So you have to split yourself. And then on top of that, as a personal trainer, you're literally like a psychiatrist, therapist, you're everything. So all this baggage that comes with, you know, being able to understand a client and find out because you have to find out what's wrong with you. Are you comfortable at work? You know, because also stress and all these type of things contribute to weight gain or weight loss. So I have to find out what's the problem.
Yeah.
Is everything at home okay? Are the kids doing fine? Are you having any stresses? All these things? Are you on your period? Like literally I have to get that deep in finding out about that client. To a point where I know everything about them. Okay. And again, I remember I was talking to a therapist and they told me that, that's what they deal with and they call it toxic baggage. So people offload onto you, but where'd you offload? You don't have anywhere to offload to. So again, with all that as well, it plays a huge part in that crash that I had. But yeah, so I had to, when I went through that 1 week or 2 weeks of just bed rest, I started now thinking smart and not working hard.
Okay. Last question on the gym stuff. Outside of the very beginning where you had the one client for 15,000, what's the lowest amount of money that you've made in a month? Especially, I guess, within the family setting that you had,
Yeah, with the family setting, it depends because, you know, back then, if I was to make 100, that was great. Like, I mean, I'll be happy with that. Now, if I make 100, I'm like pulling out my hair. You understand? So it's the times have changed. The lifestyle has changed as well. You know, there was a time where 1,000 bob was like, man, I have 1,000 bob. Now it's nothing. 100K was, oh my God, I have 100K. And it's nothing. $1 million, I have $1 million. Now it's nothing. You know, so you obviously have to progress. So like I said, right now, if I was to make 100, I'd be like, what? Man, I need to pull out my socks or something needs to change because I'm doing bad. So I can't really know the lowest I've ever made, but I can just say currently, if I was to make that right now. And again, it depends on what I'm making it on. If it's the gym, that's different because gym is only a month old. So if I was to make, you know, that amount of money right now, man, I'm happy because it's something that's just started. But I'm just talking about me as holistically. If I was to make that with all my projects, I'm doing bad. I'm doing bad.
Okay, I want us to get into, I guess, a bit about the personal stuff. And I'd be remiss if I didn't ask this, right? Because I guess the Frankie personality that I guess you sort of coined for yourself is, I don't know if I can't use the exact word that describes it, but it's this big X energy kind of whatever. Like I see you here, you know, like you have your nails done a little, you know, like the coat, the like fitting the persona. And my question is that a persona? Is that a character that you've built for entertainment? And in people's entertainment, or is that actually who you are?
So for me, I've always been over the edge, right, with a lot of things. I got my ears pierced when I was like, I think 15, 14. I had cornrows by the age of like, I think 10, 11. I was rocking cornrows. I had my tattoos when I was like 16, 17. I got my lip pierced when I was, I think, like 18, right? I've actually even toned down on the piercings. I had one here, I had another one up top here. I've just always been extra with everything that I do. I think now, like, I understand myself way more now, and I'm so comfortable in my body that I know what works for me. So it just comes out naturally. It's very hard for me to feel intimidated or insecure about myself, or intimidated by someone else. Like, oh my God, this person's making me nervous about what I'm about, or what I wear, or what I do. So I've always just been very confident in myself. So it allows me to just explore the things that I like. I mean, I wear crop tops if I want. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, so
So if that's your persona, like, that is just who you are.
It's just who I am. Yeah.
How does that affect how you manage your own money and how you make decisions around money? And so, do you work with budgets? Do you work with and then even trying to figure out how you're going to make your money? Yeah. How does that persona affect that?
The good thing about me is I like doing things the cheapest way possible.
Okay.
And I had to learn that. Actually, I didn't have to learn that. I learned that through my mom's. So she's always been the type of person she would look at every single thing and see, is it going to benefit me? If it's not, I'm not taking it. And she can afford whatever she wants, right? So I've always had that. I always call her a miser, because she's just like, oh my God, just little, like, just enjoy life for once. But she's like, no, why? Why should I do that? So for me, I picked that up from her. But obviously, again, being who I am, and traveling and being exposed very early, right? I mean, I was out of the country by the age of 10. So just seeing a different side of the world opened up my mind to so many other things, right? And that allowed me to also just be able to explore, right? But I know how to get a good bargain. I know how to source for the right stuff. Opened up my mind to, like, let's take my car into this conversation. I pretty much almost fixed my car by myself, right? If I was to give it to someone else to do it, it would have cost me an arm and a leg, because you're paying for, their time, and then also on top of that, you don't know what a carburetor is. So someone can tell you, a carburetor is about 300K. Send it over to me. So you're sending it because you want this thing to work. But you can go do that research. YouTube is there. I mean, information is everywhere. You go check it out. You find out carburetor is like, 5 Gs. What? Okay. Let me go purchase it. Bring it to my mech. We put it together. I see how he's putting it together. If there's ever a problem with that carburetor, I can fix it myself. I don't have to take it back to him. So those are the things, like, my passions, all of them, I know, like, I can fix my car by myself. All the even the attire that I wear right now is things which I've literally customized it myself. I don't need a designer or whatnot. And I know how to thrift for stuff as well. So again, it's just knowing that you have a passion, and your passion, you can choose your passion to be expensive or to be very affordable compared to what you're making. Because at the end of the day, my main priority is my business and my family. So I come last after all those things. But I still have to showcase who I am. So that I can, because walking into a room, like the way I just walked in, your first impression is very key. You look at me and you're saying, this is the type of person I want to associate myself with or not, just from the onset. So it's very important that I make an impression immediately. So, and that's why all this comes about.
Okay.
Yeah.
And as you've ranked things, I guess, in terms of financial priority, the second thing that you're talking about is your family. And my question to you is, now you have, technically speaking, 3 families that you run, right? Because there's yours and there's the two ex-partners that you have.
Yeah.
And I know this may sound like a stupid question, but were there any financial considerations when making the decisions that you made that have led you to this point with regard to a family?
No, I was just smashing, man. There was no financial. So.
Yeah.
Nah. It was
just happened. Yeah. And if you know, because before you said by the time you get the first kid, there was pressure that came with that. What then does it look like fourfold? You know, like what kind of things then do you deal with? Do you ever feel like, oh man, I'm putting myself in a fix here? This is gonna be tough. Yeah.
So I have Luya blood in me, right?
Okay.
So kids is a blessing. For me, like literally every single time I was told I'm pregnant, I was like, oh shit, dope.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Obviously you get the jitters, but I was like, man, that's cool. Like, let's go, let's have this kid. I've never felt like, oh my God, what? You know? Obviously there are times where you second guess yourself and you're thinking, oh man, am I ready for all this and all that? But at the end of the day, if I'm gonna say, cool, let's go with it, I'm gonna be there. 100% I'm gonna be there. So that has never been something that has made me think like, oh no, I'm not gonna be able to do this. It's just like, okay, what do I have to do to make sure that I'm able to sustain, you know, my kids?
Yeah.
So yeah, I never really thought about it too much. I was in it and I was like, okay, I'm in it. I can't go back. Let's tackle it now.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So that's
like at no point did you have a thought in your head of like, oh man, this is you know, what is it? Once bitten, you know, twice.
Yeah, no. I mean, man, it is what it is. Like for me, like I can never the 2 situations I've been with.
Yeah.
Well, no, 2 situations I've been with.
Yeah.
2 situations I've been in.
Yeah.
I've never regretted a single thing. I've never regretted a single thing. You know, there are a lot of people complain about, you know, their baby mamas and the people that they've had kids with and all that. Nah, man, I have great baby mamas, man.
Yeah.
They take care of the kids perfectly. And that's something that, again, has allowed me to be able to become who I've become, because I know my kids are safe. I know my kids are good. I know they're well taken care of. So if I have to travel somewhere, if I have to go somewhere for long periods of time, I know they're all right. I can give them a call and be like, hey, how are the kids doing? They're good. Everything's all right. All right, cool. They send me pictures of the kids. Anytime I'm able to go see them, I can go see them. Of course, we have a structure of the actual days I can take them. But any other day, I can still be able to communicate with them. I can still be able to go see them. So, no, for me, I have no problem on that end. Yeah.
Okay, so that's on
I picked them well.
So that's on the kids front.
Yes.
What about the relationship front, and especially on exiting and leaving the relationship?
Yeah.
I mean, of course, you know, people get into relationships for the, you know, companionship and everything, but there is the financial
of course,
benefit of, you know, both of you working towards a specific goal and things like that.
Yeah.
What was that process like for you?
I mean, with you know, my first relationship with Maureen, we had you know, as we were growing together.
Yeah.
At that time, we found each other at a starting stage.
Yeah.
And we were growing together, so we were experiencing a lot of things.
Yeah.
And a lot of learning was happening on the go.
Yeah.
I guess it's a good thing and a bad thing, because also you understand your person, but then also other times you don't understand your person and you feel like, oh, this should be happening. Why is this not happening? So yeah, we were both career driven as well. at that time. So we all had our own things that we were, chasing after. But again, it was a struggle because we had our first one quite early in our relationship. So obviously handling all these things wasn't, super easy. But we did it because we wanted to make it work, right? And we loved each other and we wanted everything to, be perfect. But, fast forward, we had our second kid again, another boom, responsibility thrown into the mix. But no one ever shied away from it. I think that's the number one thing about the two of us. We were in it 100% when it comes to, just being able to provide and also being able to. And she did take a, I'd like to say she did take a hit, especially with her career, because she had to step back and focus a lot on the kids, and it's a sacrifice that she had to make, and I'm grateful for her for being able to, take that step back and say, I'm gonna put this on the back burner, just so I can be able to take care of our children. It's just not something easy to do. I for me, I can't even imagine being able to do that for myself. So yeah, she's amazing for that. But obviously, we had our own issues, and we moved on from that. Then when I got into my second relationship with Corazon, we found ourselves we were in a stage where, I wasn't great, but I was goodish, right? I was good. She was great, right? She was great at that time. And then we were working things out, because obviously for us it was a great time to be together at that time. It was new, fresh love, it was exciting. And then we now got into it when we first had our first child. That's when it became serious. I can actually see myself with you for a very long time. And she's like, you know what? I can see myself with you for a very long time. And we started now trying to make it work in that sense, right? It was when it comes to, we're talking financially now, it was a struggle, but it was a different struggle. It's not the struggle of the one which I went through with Maureen financially, because again, with growth, like I mentioned earlier, there's a time where 1,000 bob is crazy, and then it becomes normal, 100K like that, so on and so forth. So now we were in that where our new 1,000 bob was 200.
I mean,
300.
and let me ask, because she, I guess the very little that I've seen of her, she's, seemed to live a pretty lush, plush lifestyle.
Yes.
Was that ever a thing for you? Especially with regard to the kids and ensuring that the kids have that. Did you ever feel the financial pressure to try and keep that up?
No. Corazon is a very, very, I don't want to say understanding, because understanding means I was like, oh, I can't do this. So no, she was very understanding. She's a very simple lady, right? Yes, she loves her lavish stuff, of course. Any woman would want that. Going to, amazing restaurants, going to amazing hotels, location, destinations, driving the best cars and all that. And obviously, when I first met her, it's very easy, and that's what I'm saying. For me, I'm never intimidated by situations like, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to keep up with this lifestyle. No, when I first met her, I was like, okay, she's used to all this. So I can't come and try give her all this, but subpar. I can't give her the B option or the C option of the lifestyle that she's used to. So what can I offer her that's totally new, exciting, and is going to keep her on her toes? So I switched it to the things that I like, right? In terms of adventure stuff. So I remember the first date which I took her on was to Sagana. So cliff diving, whitewater rafting, like things that get your adrenaline shooting. So to her, she's never experienced it. She's used to like, hanging out in the best hotels and all that. So when I'm taking her through all this, I can see in her face the excitement. Such an excitement that you can definitely tell she hasn't had this in a very long time. So that's what I ended up doing. So I ended up showing her a different side of life, which is not like stupidly expensive, but it's stupidly fun. Like it's exciting.
Yeah.
So that's how I was managing, I guess, the dating side of things with her.
Yeah.
And she ended up falling in love with that type of person. I showed her me.
Yeah.
And she ended up falling in love because, again, if I was to do the other stuff, it's not sustainable.
Yeah.
Right. I have things that I need to pay for, kids, businesses, and all that. Yeah. So that's what I did at that moment. And then fast forward when we had our first kid, we had to shift around a lot of things. But again, it was a new struggle. We were maneuvering quite well. And I think the reason why I was able to maneuver quite well was because I speak for myself. I had experience, past experience, with the first relationship.
Yeah.
So I was able to handle things a little bit more differently.
Yeah.
So it worked out for me. And then again, we had our second kid, and it was good. It was quite smooth as well.
Yeah.
Financially, obviously, you take a hit here and there because being an entrepreneur, you're not guaranteed things are gonna, work out like that.
Yeah.
You have deals which you're looking at and you're so excited about, and you're thinking, oh man, when this deal lands, I'm gonna become a billionaire overnight, and then disintegrates, and you're like, oh my god, now I'm back to square one.
Yeah.
That hit, like, there's nothing like that.
Do you have an example of when that happened?
Oh, there's so many deals that have like just slid through my fingers.
Yeah.
There was a time I was supposed to open up like a chain of gyms. Just Gym It. Literally, there was gonna be Just Gym It everywhere, like almost in every corner. Kilimani, Kileleshwa, Lavington, Langata, all the areas. And then had that whole conversation. We talked about it, like had meetings and did everything. And just in the last minute, the person who was my connect ended up shifting and went to SA. And I was like, wait, what?
They were the financiers, or they were...
I was working with a construction company.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was my in.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yo, bro, what's up? What's going on? He's like, no, don't worry. I'll pass it over to someone else. And obviously, you pass it over to someone else. They don't have the same vision.
Yeah.
You start the conversation again from scratch. And how I got this person was through a client.
Yeah.
So even the trust is on a different level when it comes from through the client. This other side, they don't know who I am. And they're foreign as well. They're not people who are, they know who Frankie is and what I can do for them. So slipped through my fingers, and that one hit me hard. Like my mood changed, and I'm not the type of person to share like things that I'm currently doing, even with the people that I'm with. Yeah. So I remember that time, like, Corazon just kept on asking me, why are you so moody? Like, what's going on? And then later is when I finally just told her, because I usually like blocking out all the noise. I don't want any opinions, any remarks or from anyone. I just like doing my thing. Then when it goes through, I come and tell you.
Okay.
But at that time, obviously, it didn't go through. But I still had to tell her because it really affected my everyday mood. Yeah. And obviously, it's affecting things at home, of course, if I'm in a funk. Yeah. Yeah. So that's when I had to tell her, and that was a hit. It felt like a punch to the gut, man. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
As we wrap up, tell me, so what does your financial monthly experience now? I feel like it's more of an experience than anything else.
Yes.
What's that process like for you now on a month-to-month basis? Yeah.
So how I usually function?
Yeah, I mean, how you function, how you're taking care of all the things that you need to take care of. Yeah.
So first, money comes in.
Where's the money coming from? The different places the money is coming from.
There's a couple of places. Obviously, there's the gym itself right now. That's a thing. Then there's the influencing side of things. Then there are other projects which I'm working on, which also bring in money. So once it comes in, immediately to the families. One to Corazon, one to Maureen. I've sent the monthly share. Then once that is done, I look at Just Gym It. What needs to be sorted out? Okay, I have employees, I have blah, blah, blah. All these people, sort them out. Is there anything that needs to be fixed? Equipment, what? Okay, sort that out. Then after everything has been shifted around, and I go to myself. What do I need? Okay, what I need is very simple. I need food, I need protein, I need multivitamins. That's it. Like for
So
me
how much
to
do you
function,
spend on yourself? How much do you need to function in a month?
very little.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need a lot of money to function. Fuel, of course, because I move around a lot. Fuel, food. Because at the end of the day, my body is my brand. So I have to be in shape. That's why I mentioned protein and multivitamins.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not functioning at 100%, then I can't sell my brand.
Yeah.
You know, it's very easy for me to be called, hey, come for, a shoot here. We need you topless. I'm like, oh man, I haven't trained in like 3 weeks now. I look like crap. Tomorrow I have to go for a shoot. I can't have that.
Yeah.
Or I can be called, like, just last month I was told to go climb Mount Kenya. I literally had to plan and climb in less than a week. Someone who's just normal, chilling, hanging out would never be able to do that. Go up there and die. Lewa Marathon, I'm told about Lewa Marathon like 10 days before the event, and I go run 21 kilometers. So I always have to stay in shape. That's number one for me. Then after that, I spend now on clothes and stuff like that. That doesn't really cost me much because I get most of my stuff tailor-made, and then other things, thrifted and all that. And then other things I ship in from the UK. It's quite cost effective. And then when I have like money to spare, then I go into my project cars. So start fixing my bike, or I fix my Mini Cooper is quite good. Bike is quite good right now. It's like there's nothing I need to add on to it. Currently I'm working on my Jeep. So that's something that just like it's therapeutic for me. It helps me get away, helps me just like relax, and opens up my mind to something totally different to what I'm used to. Which is the fitness world and all that. I think that's what I usually focus on. Everything else is because when I get the kids, especially because during the weekend is when I get the kids, I'm obviously going to spend money because I take them places. I take them to playgrounds and stuff like that. They want to eat pizza, do all this thing. You won't spend less than 5 G's on a Saturday. You won't. So and that's like 2 sets of kids. So you have Friday to Saturday, or have 1 set of kids, and then
the next.
So that's like what, 10 G's? 10 G's in a weekend.
Okay.
Minimum on kids. So, and that's not, it's not part of like upkeep or whatever. That's just me taking care of them. By myself.
Okay.
So it's something that you have to learn to balance. It's not easy, being a businessman, trying to progress in your industry, trying to achieve your goals, your career goals, and then on top of that, taking care of two
What are actually
families.
your personal training rates now? Are they the same as they were?
I actually don't have a personal training rate right now because I don't do personal training anymore.
Okay.
But at the height of my personal training,
Yeah.
I was charging from 50 to 100
50 to 100K per month.
per person. That was at my height, like
Yeah.
when I became Frankie Just Gym It.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But then now I'm currently okay. Obviously, in my gym, I'm training people.
Yeah.
I'm actually the main trainer at my gym.
Yeah.
But I don't have it's because it's for my gym.
Okay.
So I don't really say this is what I'm charging right now. And then
Right.
she's still young, so
Yeah.
I can't start giving ridiculous rates for personal training.
Yeah.
But if you come to my gym, personal training is 5,000. The personal training package is 5,000.
Yeah.
And then the gym rate is 4,000. So with 9,000, you get the gym and you get a personal trainer.
Yeah.
And your personal trainer can be me.
Yeah.
So I'm doing that because it's my thing.
It's your thing.
I'm able
Okay.
to do that. Yeah.
Last question. What do you want to see in the fitness industry in Kenya? What do you see in next 5 years or so? What would you
man.
like to see actually?
Especially
from a financial,
yeah.
financial
In the Western world,
yeah.
it's $1 billion industry.
Yeah.
I don't see why we shouldn't be able to get there.
Yeah.
I don't see why we're not. There's so many things that you can touch on. It's not just personal training.
Yeah.
There's a personal training. There's athleisure.
Yeah.
Right? So the attire side of it. There's a meal prep services that's on top of that. There's corporate wellness that comes into play. There's so many things that you can touch on.
Yeah.
That's not just personal training,
Yeah.
right? I want to see gyms owned by personal trainers because we currently have gyms all the gyms, right? All the gyms are owned by, businessmen who have their own thing, which they're specialized in their own thing, but opening a gym is like a hobby or a part-time thing or extra income, and they don't have the knowledge or the know-how of what it actually entails to run one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What do the clients need?
Yeah.
What do the trainers need? And that's why you always see the friction between client and gym owner.
Okay.
Sorry, personal trainer and gym owner.
Yeah.
And when that conflict happens, the client suffers.
Yeah.
So if you're able to understand the industry, you're able to understand the personal trainer's needs, and you're able to understand the client needs. So I would love to have to see a lot of trainers opening up their own spaces.
Yeah.
There are people who have try doing it, and I'm super proud of them. I've seen there's a guy called Alvin Lee.
Yeah. Yeah.
He opened up his own
Yeah.
space. Love it. There's a guy called Leon Wecher as well. Yeah, he opened up his own space as well. Love it as well. So we need trainers who are constantly looking to open up their
Yeah.
own spaces, and I think that's the only way our industry can grow.
Yeah.
If we don't do that, we'll not be able to control the industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to have that control of that industry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That was Frankie Just Gym It. We've learned a lot about the fitness industry, the different options, where we are as a country right now, and the things that we can hopefully hope to see in the next 5 years. The things that the places we need to invest. If you like this, please share it with a friend. Please send your comments. If you have any other questions for Frankie, please let us know. We'll be sure to send them to him, and we'll get his answers.
Yep.
Thank you. That was Financially Incorrect, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.